Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is February 4th, 2014. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's jump right into the charts here. We're going to start off with the S&P 500 E-mini futures. What you're going to notice here is that the futures are trading higher by about 11.5 points to 1744.50 per contract. So a pretty good pop for the futures after yesterday's just absolute annihilation on the chart. So again, we're getting a good little pop this morning. The markets are oversold, so I do think we're due for some kind of a short-term bounce, but do not take anything for granted in this type of environment. The volatility is here. I think it's here to stay as well. So take advantage of the morning activity. That's the best thing you want to do. Last night overseas, we did have some real nasty action in the Nikkei 225 index. But the Nikkei is now into a little bit of a short-term support level. But look at this decline. It was just a brutal decline, down by over 4%, right to that 14,000 level. So Nikkei really gotten hammered lately, and yesterday was no exception. So we're going to have to keep this on the radar. But today we have something going on a little bit different. You have a bounce going on in the dollar-yen chart. And as long as the dollar-yen starts to move higher, and I'm going to push this in on an intraday basis so you can get to see it, dollar-yen rallies off the lows, the markets will get a bid. I don't think the dollar-yen has all that much upside in it, but either way, if it upticks, the markets will uptick, and you obviously see the futures higher today. So again, when the dollar-yen goes up, gold goes down, and the stock market, like the S&P 500, they will move higher. When the dollar-yen chart starts to fall, the S&P 500 will move lower, and gold will move higher. That's the correlation. Don't ask why, just use it. That's what's working, and that's what you want to know about. The relationship won't last forever, but it's here and it's been working for over a year, so why not use it to your advantage? All right, let's look at some stocks that are in the news today. We're going to start off with Michael Kors. Everybody knows this stock, fashion designer. Stock is on fire this morning. Stock closed at $76.67. I believe the company reported earnings, but and it's having a really good pop. So earnings were better than expected, I suppose. But I don't really read those reports. But I do look at the charts, and what I'm seeing is stock is way overbought already. I would not touch Michael Kors with a 10-foot pole here, even though the stock is really soaring and roaring. But again, it should stall out. I don't have a great level on the equity because it is a new all-time high. But if it pierces 100, short it. I'm going to be shorting it. That's my level. The only level I could find because it is really basically a new issue. The stock's only been around since 2012, and it is a new all-time high today. But again, I would not be a buyer up here. I would not chase it up here. Do not buy it up here. This is just up too much. But if it did happen to get to 100 or pierce of 100, sell it there. Let's take a look at ARMH. This is one of these semiconductor plays that these chips go into the iPhones. They also go into the Samsung Galaxy phones. The stock has been beaten down. It's catching. It is lower today. It's trading at $43 a share. It was at $45.81 yesterday. I will have gap levels for this equity. So come on over to the intraday stock chat. Gap levels for ARMH. They will be posted up at 9 a.m. So in just another 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes from now, gap levels will be posted for ARMH. Next stock I'm looking at is this ATMI. The stock was bought out today for $34 a share, so don't short it, don't buy it, don't do anything to it. Just leave it alone. If you own it, congratulations, take your money. But right now, this is just going sideways, and that's the way it should finish the rest of the day. Let's take a look at the Hartford Group. This is insurer. Right now, you're looking at Hartford Financial. Trading at around $32.95. It closed at $32.18, so decent little pop up. Again, I don't know how much upside the stock has, but one thing I will say, a lot of resistance around $34.86, $34.36. If it gets there, more resistance around $35. So I don't know if there's going to be a lot of upside in this equity. I don't think there's going to be, but nonetheless, it is upticking, worth mentioning. Let's take a look at Yum Brands. Yum Brands, I believe, came out with earnings. Stock has just been beaten to a pulp. But today, it is catching a nice little bid. It's a strong gap higher. So Yum Brands right now trading at $69.80 per share. Closed at $66.16 yesterday. So really a very good move. I'm going to have some gap resistance levels for Yum Brands. So again, if you want those levels, just come on over to the chat room. They'll be in there. I'll have some gap levels for you there. We'll look to scalp short Yum Brands at some point today. Let's take a look at Archer Daniels Midland. This is another stock that has been beaten to a pulp as well. Today it's catching a nice strong bid. The stock closed at $38.91. It's trading at $39.77. I'm not sure how much upside Archer Daniel has, but again, with a strong gap, I really wouldn't look to get in front of it too much, or too soon, I should say. But a level you could watch for some intraday resistance on ADM would be somewhere around 40.77. If it gets to 40.77, that's probably a good scalp area. Also around 41.40, there could be a little bit of a scalp area on the short side there as well. And then ultimately $42. That would be a really good level if it can get there. So those are just some levels I'm looking at on Archer Daniels, some minor resistance points. So 40.77, 41.38, and then $42. Those are all potential little short scalps for Archer Daniel. And again, a short scalp is just a quick little bite out of the market. You're not looking to be in this trade all day. Looking to just take, your quick 20, 25, 30 cents off the table real fast once it hits those levels. Let's take a look at Take-Two Interactive, TTWO. This stock is catching a real good lower level today. It gapped down, closed at 18.90. It's actually trading at 18.10. It was all the way down here just a little while ago, so it has come back a little bit. I don't see upside, but I will have downside support levels for this one. So my best bet level right now for those of you out there would be somewhere around 15.67. Those of you in the intraday stock chat, I'll have other levels before that for a potential play. But Take-Two slipping a little bit today, but it's not down all that much. It was down much more. So we'll see if it comes down, but I'll have that up on the gap levels as well. But if by some chance it does get down to 15.65, 15.67, you can be a buyer there. Prior to that, I will have some levels. I'm going to leave it here with the stocks. Let's jump into oil right now. Oil, you'll see that it is trading higher by about 26 cents a share to 28 cents a share to 26.71 a barrel. Let's go to the USO, which is a good proxy for light sweet crude. You'll see that's trading right at $34.49. I think oil is just in a range. I don't think it's going to drop all that much right now, but I do think it's in somewhat of a range. The high end of the range on the daily chart would be around 35.75. I don't see that getting there today, but hey, you never know what can happen. Oil is very sensitive to adverse weather, also geopolitical events, and the action in the US dollar. But either way you slice it or dice it, I really don't see a lot going on with oil today. Let's look at gold. Gold is getting hit today. Gold is down $11.70 at the moment to $12.48 an ounce. Let's go to the GLD, and you'll see GLD is trading lower to around 120.37. It closed at 121.32. So again, why is gold down? Let's ask that question. Simple. Whenever the dollar yen gets a bid, and the dollar yen has caught a bid today, it's up 49 cents. Dollar yen moves higher, gold moves lower. It's just the way it works. Dollar yen moves higher, stock market moves lower. Dollar yen moves lower, stock market moves lower, and gold moves higher. Remember that sequence. It's going to make you and save you a lot of money. You won't hear that stuff on CNBC. So again, you want to know that correlation. At some point, that correlation will break, but it's been a good correlation for over a year now. So use it, abuse it, and make money off of it. That's the best thing you want to do in this kind of environment. I think I covered everything that I wanted to. There are a lot of other stocks out here trading earnings and moving higher, lower, and all around. But again, I just gave you a few that we're going to be looking at, trying to isolate this morning. And you want to take advantage of the first couple of hours of the day. That's when you get your best volatility. But with that said, everybody, I want to wish you all a great trading session, and we'll see you on the charts.